This wasn't Dragon Funland after all. No. KT 2-0 up in Dragons. And KOO Tigers just kind of scrambling for some semblance of control, anything they can do to just stay alive in this game. Now, I suppose in theory they could still find a miracle team fight, but again, you know, that's not a situation you really want to find yourself in.
Yeah, specifically because KT Rolster has a stronger front line and very good catch potential this game as well. Obviously, KOO can get a good event horizon down if they can somehow catch Nagne very quickly, especially with Peekaboo being on Braum and not being near a Mikhail's or having any cleanses on KT. It's kind of on Hojin or Kuro to make that happen, but it's very unlikely with the ward coverage that KT has and also the way they're splitting the map into 3 different lanes.
Yeah.
This is pretty much going to script. We talked about it, 15-30. KT, #1 in terms of CS during that period. And KOO falling behind in that regard, but having a lot more kills. But KT, they just refuse to fight. They have long games, but they're happy because what happens, this style from KT, yes, it results in longer games, but it's so controlled. Just retreat, keep the map pressure up, slowly deny minion waves to your opponents, take these dragons, get the deep wards in, and just never give your opponent an opening. And when they make those mistakes with those global spells like teleport, just punish them for it.
Yeah, very true. And we talked about this coming into the match today as well. KT has a 9-minute longer average game time at Worlds than the KOO Tigers do right now. KOO Tigers have really relied in that group they were in on getting a lead early, snowballing it like crazy, and finishing fast. And against KT, clearly that is not something you can do. Someday, taking some damage from Smeb, though, he's going to have to slice and dice his way out of there, where he gets sliced and diced even more. There's a lot of slicing and dicing going on there.
Yeah, Someday's gone for an incredibly aggressive Renekton build and opted against building any armor items, which is a little surprising. Although I do like heavy AD Renekton builds, he actually has some of the most aggressive AD ratios on his spells. So as far as which champions you would want to build AD on, Renekton is one of them. He gets a lot of natural health from his ultimate, especially once he hits level 16 as well. But I want Ninja Tabi or just a Warden's Mail somewhere in that build because I think as soon as he builds that item, he just wins straight up against Smeb.
Wow, KOO pushing right up the mid lane. Can they actually take a turret here? They've got pressure
they
on bottom lane too. Wow, Nagne did get stunned. They take him out. Hojin with a kill there. Nice pick by KOO, and that's exactly what they were looking for. Challenge issued. Smeb taking turret hits. He's okay for the moment, though. Someday in a bit of trouble. Getting lower, goes down, and that heal combined with the ult from Shen keeps him alive. KOO suddenly finding an opening.
That was absolutely huge. They cut the gold deficit by about half by that. It's going to go down even further as Smeb takes a turret, so KOO roaring right back into this game.
I guess, man.
I mean, I'm not really seeing this Fiora-Renekton matchup at the current time because at these 2 items, it's really hurting Renekton to be in these dueling situations. It's too easy for Smeb to block the stun now.
Yep, I think Someday needs armor. He can't win that duel elsewhere. And this was a mistake by Nagne. Obviously, with the Veigar, we talk about how strong he is as C's potential. This is exactly why. If Nagne wants to clear the wave, he has to walk into event horizon range or just give up a turret. He ends up losing both. So really, KOO losing the split push war that they had been winning this entire time because KOO kind of smartens up and just sets up a siege.
Yeah, they start to group up, and then not only that, Gorilla rather on point to get into that bottom lane to make a play and a dive with Smeb at the same time, so they're able to crack 2 of the outer turrets. KT had held on to all of them before that single play. And KOO getting right back into it.
Yeah, and one wonders what else KOO has planned here as they push up the mid lane.
I think as far as plans go, this is 100% of their plan. They should continue to push up mid lane as much as possible and at least match a split push. They don't need Smeb in the same lane as Someday, even though that's nice, but as long as they can trade turrets in a split push, they're keeping the gold close and maintain a presence mid lane. They no longer have teleport disadvantages, so they can set up a decently safe siege.
Well, they're going to get that top lane turret pretty easily. Smeb tearing it apart right now. Looks like they'll trade the top lane tier 1 for the bottom lane tier 2, and you know, that's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. Wow, Smeb actually hasn't killed that. He hasn't done any damage to that turret yet. Someday, what are you doing?
He's trying to get out of this situation. He knows he's getting collapsed on, so it's still a dicey maneuver, and there's the dicey maneuver right out of Hojin's way. Very well played there by Someday escaping what could have been a very deadly situation.
3 people collapsed on him, and he made it out completely cleanly. That's That's so impressive by Someday right there.
Yeah, Shen is like, wow, I need to get sneaking lessons from that giant space crocodile.
A better ninja than Shen.
Literally anything.
Yeah. That box that like Solid Snake walks around under in Metal Gears, that's a better representation of a ninja than Shen, I
Yes,
think.
it is. Absolutely.
Yeah. What's in the box? Oh, nothing. Just a box. Shen's like, oh, that guy's so good.
Why didn't I think of that?
I was too busy making loud noises and appearing on the other side of the map.
It's like, oh, here I come! Shen. Supposed to be subtle. Nothing subtle about KOO's comeback, though. The lane's starting to push a little bit more for KT, but KOO has made it a game.
Yeah. The possibility, though, of KT really stacking up these dragons is becoming quite troublesome.
Yeah.
Nagne's going to take a free bullet.
It's not a ton of damage.
I think that's KT's next step. Set up the dragon as cleanly as possible, make Curl burn Event Horizon, and then find your fight after that moment. A lot of that will have to do on Nagne's flanks.
Yeah.
Who's going to go a little early?
KT wants to take this one. KOO doesn't want to let them. Ray doing a bit of damage to the dragon. Who's going to get it? Red team takes it, went over to score. Smited it just in time, and that's going to be 3-0 in dragons for KT. KOO thinking back to game one, saying, wait, this is our moment. Come on, third dragon, guys.
Hojin smited at 970 right there before Score was even comboing abilities, so a really easy smite there for Score to finish. But with Someday trying to split push bottom, it's the setup siege again in the mid lane. Event Horizon equals turret.
Yeah.
And Someday actually peeled off right there, got cold feet. Of course, it would have been difficult for him on his own to try and take that inhibitor turret. But he did make the move, did push the minion wave, and they ended up. KT doesn't have a lot of tools to safely clear that minion wave as long as the Event Horizon is there. So KOO playing this Veigar significantly better than they did the last time, but the problem remains. 2 dragons for KT, and they'll get it before 40 minutes. That 5th dragon buff is very scary. And KOO, if they don't have the opportunity to get vision first on the dragon, they cannot engage really with their composition.
And that's the big threat, isn't it? Then you have to think about what Nagne's really going to start doing in team fights. You get that 5th dragon stack, and suddenly you're going to be just evaporating people like KOO if you can get close enough. If you can get that flank.
But you also have to remember the late game Veigar, once he gets Void Staff, is going to be near 1,000 ability power. Nagne has built pretty heavy magic resist with Mercury Treads and Abyssal Scepter, but we've even seen Nagne's experienced it. Veigar is just pressing one button and instantly killing him in the late game.
Yeah, and that's when he had Merc Treads, Abyssal Scepter, and a Rylai's. So even more tankiness than he has right now.
Yeah. They're using KOO to push up that bot lane for the moment anyway. And it seems like for now, it's really a lot about Baron too. Can KT maybe find an opportunity to start baiting it, start pulling people away, and help Someday get a little bit more split pushing pressure with that Baron threat?
Well, they really want to force a face check here because KOO's engaged crowd control is so poor. And KOO's way of winning a lot of these team fights is going to be through picks or through kiting. So as long as they can control the river, as we reach the end game, uh-oh.
Well,
Definitely a duel going on at the top side right now.
yeah, Someday on the run. Here comes Hojin. Someday could be in a bit of trouble here. A lot of KOO members collapsing. There's the flash. Someday still trying to get away. Could get to the mid lane. Gorilla over the wall with the taunt. Someday slices and dices his way out. Caitlyn comes in with a bit of damage. Oh, they got him with the Event Horizon. Will that be enough damage? Gorilla gets taken out by Nagne, though. There goes the support on the other side. And Smeb, a little bit of health left. He's got enough. Another nice stun with that Event Horizon. Score manages to body slam his way to freedom. Here comes Nagne trying to find a target. Takes a lot of damage in response. Nice flash from Prey with the headshot. And KOO comes out of that fight on top.
Really, chaos ensued once Smeb chased Someday. Someday's really, really good at getting away from stuff, but KT did overcommit when trying to protect their Renekton. He burned far too many spells in retreat, which then gave an advantageous fight for KOO, and specifically the fact that KOO didn't have to deal with frontline allowed them to just chase with their CC. Now it's all about this Baron, and whether or not Score could miraculously get a smite.
Needs to be
Arrows here as well.
Oh, but there's the Event Horizon Score.
Still body slam in.
It was a bit early. Got such low health, though. Arrow tried to come in. No, they can't quite get it. Baron goes down, and so does Nagne. KOO taking that Baron, and suddenly everything going the KOO Tigers' way, but only for the moment. They've got low health. Peekaboo trying to slow people up, and it looks like they'll be able to escape the Baron Pit anyway.
Yeah, that was such a good call from KOO. They knew the TPs were down, as well as the death timers on the mid and top lane. Nagne had no chance because he tried to TP into that last fight. If they have just let Someday to die or tried to disengage with the Braum ultimate, it could have been very different, not burn that TP. They decided to go in, follow that up, but KOO had been chasing Someday around for too long, and KT really overcommitted when KOO could just kite very efficiently.
I also think after the fight, an incredibly risky Baron call. Jinx over the wall with Jinx rockets, as well as an attempted smite steal where, by the way, neither smite was actually used. So if either one of those guys would have gotten close to smite, it could very easily have been a Baron steal. The score got into the pit.
Funny thing is Jinx rocket wasn't used either.
Yeah. Was the
Weirdly
ultimate
enough.
up during
think it
that
was
fight?
down.
Yeah.
I think it, oh, okay, it was down at the time. That could be it. All right, nice flash taunt onto Someday there from Gorilla.
Yeah, but the thing is, he had to use Dominus before this fight. Someday never does damage here, and the LeBlanc arrives when the other solo laner is already dead. Trading a top laner for a support automatically puts KOO at the advantage. Not to mention, they got to fight on top of that healing spring from Smeb, and really Nagne can never get the proper flank position in this battle.
This is the real mistake, though. Nagne has no reason to go in for a LeBlanc combo right there. The AD carry in jungle had already successfully disengaged, and Nagne getting chunked and dying on the flank is what caused that Baron to go down. So team fighting error there from Nagne.
Kuro hitting things so well with that Event Horizon.
Looking much better this game than last game.
And with the Baron buff, this composition hits its sweet spot, because specifically with the Caitlyn, the 3-item Caitlyn right here, the Event Horizon plus the Caitlyn range can take down almost any turret.
Oh, here we go again. Smeb onto Someday, issuing the grand challenge, and Someday can't even survive it through the ultimate. Oh yeah, Smeb 6-2-2 all over that top lane.
I know this may look like Fiora is just a way better champion than the Renekton in a split push, but this is a Magic Resist stacking Renekton trying to deal with the split push from Fiora. I do not know what Someday is doing with that build, and it is consistently punishing KT.
He's trying to survive Kuro, but that's not the person he's been fighting against.
I mean, but by not building armor, the other problem is that Prey has not had to build a Last Whisper this game either, so it's making it very easy for Prey to output damage and get tanky with that Bloodthirster.
Someday had 87 armor during that death, 33 minutes into the game. But
No
KOO,
wonder it was
they
bad.
have the Veigar anyway, so they are pushing so strong here.
Yeah, using that Baron buff to push through the bottom inhibitor, going all the way to a bit of damage on the Nexus turret. Someday, he's teleporting down. They're going to try to flank this. KOO could be in trouble. Nice taunt from Gorilla, catching Someday immediately after he comes to the teleport. Score uses his ultimate, but he can't save his top laner. Smeb is godlike with a kill there. Nagne comes in, nearly takes out Prey, but it's not enough. Oh, Nagne lives with like 0 health left. 42 remaining after that ace in the hole.
Jinx coming in on the bottom side right, or top side rather. Smeb going hunting for Score, but the only one there. Score trying to a little bit of
Oh
extra
boy,
yes, but
he's in trouble. Smeb's like 4 score and 7 kills ago. I took out a Gragas in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Dragon taken by KOO as well. Looks like Score lives anyway.
very close. They had to burn the exhaust. Enough slows used though to keep Score alive. Only Someday going down. They thought they might be able to catch them coming out, but Someday just getting blown up immediately. He just doesn't have that tankiness yet.
Yep.
Smeb has been so good at proccing all 4 vitals. I don't think I've ever seen the heal from Fiora happen as many times in a game as I've seen right here. Very consistently setting up winning situations for his team by chasing people down like that.
Yep, that big heal's been helping quite a bit. Look at this, Gorilla just immediately with the taunt onto Someday.
That's a great opening right there. Of course, they get him down to 50% HP, and now he's going to go, gets hit by the Veigar ult.
Yep.
And they're just easily going down. Rocket not going to do a whole lot. Nagne coming in, nearly one-shots Prey, but can't finish it off. Prey then responds.
Oh, so close.
The ace in the hole, not
40.
quite enough.
40 HP after that one.
Yeah, now it'll kill. It's a last whisper onto Prey, so much more damage. Caitlyn's hit that 4-item point of being really, really good in the late game. 1 inhibitor down. They no longer have the Baron main, so it'll be a little bit harder for them to set up sieges.
And crucially, they got a dragon during that conflict as well, just picking it up at the end, preventing KT from being on the cusp of number 5.
Well, it makes that 5th dragon a long way away for KT Rolster now, and if you look at the gold lead that KOO has, they've gone from about 4K down this game to now being about 5K up. What a swing.
Well, this looks more like the KOO we were used to in Korea.
Yes,
you know?
yes it does.
Losing in the early game, scrapping it out, somehow getting their strategy together and just running wild in the mid game to take that gold lead and take a win.
Yeah. Trying to take out that mid inhibitor turret now. They're going to rotate up to top. Who's certainly looking like they're going to take this game. We'll see if KT can stop them.
No.
Doesn't look likely, does it? Jab's just like, no.
The 4-1 they set up was so good, specifically because Smeb is just ignoring the Renekton, and even if LeBlanc rotates over for a quick burst, he's even been able to save his riposte so he can't get burst by Nagne either. Just KOO really, really pretty with the way they're moving between lanes.
That Event Horizon, too. Although I suppose with Santa Vega, it's more like Present Horizon. It works. Someday, trying to come inside. Yeah.
Trying to get some damage down. Event Horizon used just to deny the flank.
They'll get that inhibitor before too long.
KT should just make a play right now.
Yeah, well, they need to do
Now
something.
they should make a play. The Event Horizon's down.
Yeah.
Well, we got excited for nothing.
Just go for
Oh.
it. Just get him.
Well, they're going to lose their inhibitor. How about that?
Praise, stop moving. Just get him.
Just kill the inhibitor. They're just playing with them now. There we go. Taking out Peekaboo. Takes a big chunk of life loss as well. And KOO Tiger's just going to casually walk away.
Yep.
I think KT had to pull the trigger there if they wanted to get back into this game at
Whoa.
all. They're going to lose a Nexus turret
Whoops.
at the same time as KT has gotten a bunch of people together in the mid lane just to push out the mid wave, dragging up a 10, or Baron rather.
Yeah, 2 inhibitors down with only 1 Nexus turret means the Baron would basically only be a chance at a steal.
Probably, and KOO's just going to not waste any time going for this one. KT, they're right there, though. Nagne has his teleport. He could join, and he will. Are they going to be able to get this one? Yeah, KOO gets the Baron, but will they win the fight? Peekaboo takes a bit of damage early on. Gorilla looks a little bit low as well. They're going to take him down. Goodbye, Peekaboo. Nagne over the wall doing absolutely nothing. KOO just all over KT right now. Nagne has to run ace in the hole, blocked by Arrow. Takes half his health doing it, though. And Smeb is getting closer. KT just barely keeping 3 people alive during that fight, but KOO looking pretty fine. There we go. Teleport coming in. And Kuro, he's got the home guards. Vega flashing on the wall. He better rise it. Arrow cleanses through it, though. Makes it out. That is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Nobody wants to see Vega run at them like that.
Didn't even get the kill, but I feel like KOO will probably get the game. They kill the inhibitor, the instant respawns back up. They have everyone but their support.
Yeah.
Still a decent defending crew there by KT Rolster, though.
It's not bad. Nagne, Arrow, and Someday left to defend this last Nexus turret and the Nexus. Not doing as much damage as you'd expect, I suppose, but it's enough to scare KOO away. You know, why take that chance? Why take that 80% chance to win right now when you can have a 100% chance in a minute or two?
Yeah, and they did just burn 2 flashes not to get the kill on the Arrow, so there is a little trepidation about trying to finish that game, especially with KT's topped up and score is respawning. I think this
Makes sense.
Definitely the right call for KOO. They still got some time left on that Baron to make the final play.
Yeah.
Even so, I'm really loving this series so far. KT,
So good.
back and forth games with KOO the first 2 times here. KOO had an early game advantage with Veigar, and they didn't necessarily correctly avoid the team fights and play around the dragons properly. This time, KOO actually had to play from behind, but instead did use the Veigar properly. Much better use of Event Horizon from Kuro this game. They worked around the vision control of KT and found their moments in a very creative fashion. And it's really good to see 2 good teams go back and forth against each other.
Well, we were all wondering too, you know, how close was this really going to be after that last series in Korea about a month or 2 ago, and man, they have not missed a beat as far as how close these teams are to each other skill-wise. I still think we can definitely see Game 5 in this series. KOO looking like they want to tie things up here in Game 2, though. There goes the last inhibitor turret on the map for KT Rolster, and KOO looking to try to end it. Ace in the hole used, blocked by Peekaboo. But here comes the KOO Tigers. KT, the last defense is right here, right now.
KOO's going to wait for 3 waves of Baron and Battle Super
go.
Minions.
Yeah, why not, man? Get the Winions on board as well, too. Arrow takes a ton of damage from Kuro. And there we go, grand challenge issued yet again. Peekaboo the target, Nagne gonna back out of the fight, got exhausted, couldn't really do anything. Double kill comes in for KOO. They're gonna tear apart KT, and KOO Tigers tearing apart the Nexus as well. Game 2 goes to KOO Tigers.
This has been a really interesting